iffy, very swirly. They had no grip in the first couple laps. Everyone was worried about it. Let's see how they're able to do.
Sorry, I got pushed
first
right
couple
there.
turns here.
Corey.
So far, so good
Not
for these
pushed,
drivers.
but put in a bad spot.
Yeah, no, you're good. I respectfully
Oh, we already got a driver off. Looks like Corey Abbott there in the Kachow
too many
car.
people in one spot.
Race is not over for him because he's going to be in the back. He's got to get going because the leaders are already back at the start-finish line. And I'm hearing more contact being made across the track.
Before we got to hear him rage? What the fuck?
Ethan Stanley seems to have gotten himself to a couple car lengths late. Oh no, a third place driver there. Ryan Gavel got kicked into the sand, spun it around, kept it off the fence, but he's going to lose all that track time. He's going to have a hard time trying to be able to make it up through the field here. He's all the way back in the 30th position now. We're going to have to keep a bird's eye view here. We got the track map up for everyone that's interested. Keep an eye on that because quickly that's going to be a completed circle here when they come back around. Already on lap number 3, the front two drivers have already gotten away to a little bit of a lead here.
Go back and see what happened to Gavel.
See, exactly. I'm pretty sure he got his left rear tire into that sand, and that's all it took for that car to go around. Not even. Just came around on him. Needless to say, he's going to have an interesting race from here on out, trying to get through the field.
Now we'll try to look for some close battles, I guess.
That's the 26 there. That's Justin Fortner trying to work his way up through the field. So far, everyone's being very courteous, giving each other plenty of space. I think they're realizing it's 100 laps here. And the only way they're going to be able to make it through this race is if they work together. Oh, here comes a 16. Oh, boy. He almost got into the 91 there of Johnny Thomas. Oh, car around.
Sorry,
95. That's
95.
it. I think it was the same situation as what happened to Gavin there.
That would be ironic.
Turn 1 was a danger corner. Easy to loop it around. So far, still looking pretty good out there for most of these drivers. When it gets a little bit complicated, we're only lap 5, so we're not even a little bit through this field. But right now, our front two drivers seem to be pulling away to quite a bit of a lead here. David Tooker is keeping Ethan Stanley honest right now, right to his back bumper. Fuel is somewhere around lap 60. Some of the drivers felt like they should be able to extend it out a little bit farther than that if they tried. Halfway point will be awarded at lap 50. Some of these drivers were saying there's no tire wear. So a lot of them were planning on not taking tires and just looking at fueling up the car. Essentially completing a pit stop will put you a lap down from any position. Not many road courses you can say that. See Tate Lytle starting to work up onto the back of Scott Crump here. Our English driver there, William White, worked his way into the top 10 already at this point. Let's go ahead and see if we can go on board here with Ethan Stanley for a lap, so for folks at home can get a sense. Here he comes going down the top straight on the start of the lap here at the line. He's going to end up going into the paddock. The paddock hill bend is what it's called. Very sweeping downhill turn down into this low part as he reaches into Pilgrim Rise. Very hard right-hand turn. Keeps it right up against the curb. As here he comes to the bottom bend. On this turn here, you're going to want to get all the curbs you can. As it gets to the bottom straight, gets up onto those curbs, gets down into that straight part. Going to get onto more curbs as it gets into the kidney bend. And then it's going to be the long right-hand turn here at Clearways. This long right-hand turn seems like it takes forever. You don't want to end up in that grass. You'll end up in that wall before you know it. Back down to the top straight here, and that is a lap as quickly as it started. That's what these drivers have to deal with for 100 times of, if they're lucky, if they stay on the lead lap. Ethan Stanley's a good way to be able to stay on board because
Ni hao.
that's a driver that knows what he's doing. Multiple
Oh,
winner
yeah, I've
here
been
in the
speaking
Elite
Chinese
Series
already,
on the
don't
road
worry about
courses, but they can already see
That
in
makes
their
you about-
mirror or their window, front
Yeah, I
windshield,
saw you do the same thing as
whatever you
me.
want to call it. They can start seeing the lap
I
traffic.
knew you were
in
saying
front
that
of them.
already. That's why I said that.
Took the lap 8, so I feel proud of these drivers
Oh.
able to stay on the lead lap until this point. First driver they're going to be coming up on is going to be Kyle Hanshaw. Already 3 drivers out of the race, either due to contact or admitting defeat. First driver going to be going a lap down is going to be Kyle Hanshaw here. He's going to be caught pretty quickly. Further battles going on. It looks like Tate Lytle was able to get around Scott Crump this lap. That will put him into that 8th position. Now William White's going to be trying to see if he can get around that number 90 car. Ooh, a couple cars going off. 24 off into the sand. That's going to be Michael Hossack. I think he just got back on. That was a wild ride. This is something very easy for these drivers to do. You go a little bit too wide, you get into that sand, and then you just go for a ride. You have to believe at the end of this race, this was real life. You get out of the car, take your shoes off, act like you're at the beach, and take the sand out of your shoes because there's a lot of sand at this racetrack. Ooh, a couple cars getting loose around there. McIntosh, one of our top rookie, running right there in a good spot. Seems to find a comfort place in 19th, but he's already over a half a lap down to the leaders. Chase Caber trying to see if he can hold off a very hard charging McCollum. Both of these drivers making their relatively rookie start here. Oh, 10 car almost around Nick Indelicato right behind them. Got loose, allowed 2 cars to go around, got stuck behind a lap car there. Ended up losing a position. No, Tate Lytle got into the back of Chad Frankenfield. That is not what he wants to do because
Sorry,
Chad
you
was
went so
not
high. I thought
happy,
you blew the corner.
after Monday night race. So Chad voiced his displeasure. We'll see here if he gets back at Tate Lytle after Tate gave him a little bit of a bump and a shove. Oh, Chad throws it in there. Oh, he tried. He tried for sure to be able to make that move. He almost dumped him at that point. Chad's going to be able to collect it here, but he's got a host of cars behind him trying to make the position back up on him. Our leaders, if we go back up to the lead, are going through some heavy traffic here now. They're getting to these lap cars. Oh, boy. And you got to feel for these lap cars. There's nowhere to go. This track is not very wide in a lot of spots. The grooves are very narrow because you're not having a very long straightaways in a lot of spots to be able to get out of the way. So a lot of these drivers are going to have difficulties moving out of the way for the leaders. A lot of them believe that's going to lead to a lot of incidents. Ethan Stanley so far still got Tate Lytle right behind him, but look at the lead they put on Chase Cabre. Oh, Dustin Dewar in front of him. And the 32 coming back on track right in front of them. That's what they're going to have to worry about for
not really
the
much
next
happening. I mean, there's guys
86
going off course.
laps.
That's going to happen. It's primarily oval drivers.
If you're not going to be
Stanley
physically
Tucker,
exhausted, you're going to
these
sure
guys
be
are- these
mentally
guys are head and
exhausted.
shoulders above everybody else. Tyler Fody, when it comes to road racing. So I'm pretty sure Ethan and I know Ethan's been here in an IndyCar. I'm not sure about Tucker, but
I'm wondering, Dave, if I should put on my voice mod and put it on deep voice to counteract my high squeaky voice right now. You think that might work?
I don't even know if Fody's here.
Probably not.
It'll make it different.
You know,
That's for sure.
Go left here.
It might make me go back to being in a normal voice
I've
with all my
noticed
squeakiness.
the incident.
Ethan Stanley
between
coming
Chad
up
and,
on the 8th there. That's
Tate there,
Josh Robin.
To be
Ooh,
fair,
Robin got out into the dirt a little bit.
Tate moved Chad a little
Oh,
bit.
boy.
And Chad went to dump him back.
That was after lap 10
So,
that some of these drivers went a lap down.
I'm gonna kind of.
So remember when I said that it should take they should go 5 laps down?
Yep, they may
Make
go
that,
10.
They may go 10. It might go 10 laps down.
I don't think Fody.
Some of those drivers wouldn't mind going 10 laps down. That'd be 10 laps less laps that they have to do. Man, these two guys up here are laying down absolute steamer laps right now. Even with going through lap traffic, I mean, they are laying down some real fast lap times. I mean, the last time by, they both would have qualified in the top 5. So, I mean, they're going almost qualifying speeds right now, these two.
Oh, they have fewer cars in front of them now.
Yeah, they're not
Thanks
worried
for
about
qualifying.
tire wear. Look how far back already 5th place is. 10 seconds back, Ethan Burrell. I mean, at that pace, we're only going to have 4 cars on the lead lap at the end of this. Oh, boy. I don't know where to keep my eye on here, Dave.
Oh, round goes Dusty.
Dusty Dewar going around. He's going to have to try to find a good spot to come back on racetrack. Oh, don't get stuck on the curb. Oh, man. I don't know what's scarier. If you got stuck going backwards on the intersection trying to find a way to do a turnaround, or what position Dustin Dewar was in. Both of them were near catastrophic for him. Already only 24 cars a lap or on the lead lap. 10 cars already a lap down. Ethan Stanley starting to work on Scott Crump, or not Scott Crump. Rucker there. Sunny D car. It's good to see the Sunny D car not facing the wrong direction or getting sent into turn 1. But it's still early on, and we have hope. Just joking. Ethan Stanley out front still. They have gotten around Scott Crump. Oh, Scott Crump. They locked it up going into turn 1. I almost saw him send it in and bail it into the wall there. Oh, man. Let's go on board with a lap car here. Let's go on board with the 99 of Mark Verbilis. I want people to get an idea how awful it is to be a lap car here. As he just got passed by 7 cars in 1 lap.
Oh shit, that was my bad. Sorry.
Actually, I think he's got quite a clear track behind him a little
You're
bit.
good, we
So
survived.
it might be okay for a lap.
Just trying to get out of the
Can we
way.
go- can
Yeah,
we see like a
we'll do better
backwards
next
view?
time.
Do we have a backwards view?
There'll be
Dave?
next time pretty soon.
Sure.
We should have made one. If not, there we go. So here's a good one to catch up to him. It's Ryan Gavel trying to work his way up through the field. Coming up with head of steam. Right behind Ryan Gavel there, this one, Matthew Weeks, our points leader, not having the best of nights here tonight. Started in the 20th position, worked up to 16th. So that's a good view of him coming down the bend there.
Go right here.
I gotta say, Mark Verbilis, since we've been on board with him, has been running really good lap times.
Hey,
So,
kept it on track.
yeah, he's looking rather good out there, actually. He's gonna probably wish we were on board for the rest of the race. But very quickly, you're seeing a group of cars starting to catch up. Random Max, you are very correct. It is going to be interesting here tonight. There's going to be nowhere to go for a lot of folks. That's an interesting view. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here with Scott Crump, as I think William White was finally able to get around him, able to push him up out of the track there. So William White able to get himself finally past Scott Crump for that 9th position.
I want my money back.
And it all happened with lap cars, if you can believe it. Woo, aggressive move by the Englishman. I'm at a loss of words where to keep my eyes on. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's
My
hard
camera.
to pull it up because I can't see any gaps that are they're low because they're passing lapped cars, so it doesn't keep track of those. Gavel doing a little.
Sure, it's a lot cleaner than I was expecting.
Can we go to an overhead view of the entire track?
Let me see.
Sorry, I'm making you work here today, Dave. There we go. Well, kind of. Most of the track is not what we're using. Oh, well. You see there, Jonathan Cutlip catching up to the back of Seth Rawls. That's just outside the top 10. You think, oh, man, they're having a good race. Well, they're over a half a lap down already to our leaders. Oh, by the way, it's only lap 22 of 100. This is I gotta say, David Tooker, he was on the Gauntlet for Thursday night's podcast, and he stated that he was going to put in some practice laps here. You know, he got tired of Ethan Stanley beating him at these road courses. He was the original road course ace, as everyone would say. He would win all the road courses. Then drivers like Ethan Stanley came aboard. R.C. Anderson, the real-life IndyCar, NASCAR driver now. I guess you could call him a NASCAR driver because he raced in NASCAR over at COTA last week. And David Tooker, he said he's going to put in the track this time. He's going to put all his effort into beating Ethan Stanley here. And right now, he has kept him very honest. They have been going near qualifying pace out on the track, and it's been less than half a second behind him.
Good, he kept over here, bud.
Entire race. Oh, good, he off in front of him.
Owie.
That's always interesting. You see here, I mean, there's not really a lot of passing opportunities. You have to wait for a mistake. And I'm going to guess a lot of those mistakes will probably be coming from trying to get around these lap traffic. Only 22 cars left on the lead lap right now.
Thanks, Dusty.
Third place has found himself 8 seconds behind. Fifth place, 12 or 13 seconds behind now.
You're good.
10th place has found himself 20 seconds behind. So we are at least 1/4 of the way through at this point, and I got to say these drivers have been doing a phenomenal job. I have not really seen a multi-car wreck so far, and that's quite surprising with the amount of traffic that they're having to work through.
Yeah, you haven't heard anything in the driver chat, anybody complaining about contact or anything. A lot of just
No,
single
man.
slide offs.
When's the last time we haven't heard an elite race where they're not complaining? Good battle here for the 13th position. Ryan Gavel, who was third when he spun, trying to work his way through some of these drivers here. Now trying to get around the rookie points leader there, Ty McIntosh. Or no, Seth Rawls. Sorry, that's 25. That's Ty
position.
McIntosh. That's Ty McIntosh's teammate, similar paint scheme. This is for a position here. Lee in the chat here saying he lived about 10 miles from the track. Well, then you might know William White. He lives about
Yes.
10 miles from the track.
Could be neighbors and never even know it.
And then again, in England, 10 miles is a lot different than here in the United States. 10 miles is about one side of England to the other, right? Making a guess.
In some places, yeah.
Still one of the better battles on track is right here. Ooh, this might be what Ryan Gavel needed. He's going to be able to take a look to the inside, not able to quite make the move.
Thanks,
Oh,
Steve.
gets a little loose. He's pushing it right now. Yeah, I gave him a shot there going into turn number 1, letting him know that he is looking to try to make a move here. Oh, Dustin
is
Dewar.
also for position now in the mix.
Edward Nolan's having a phenomenal race here at a road course. Uh-oh. I heard someone blow up. I heard somewhere on track, someone just absolutely blew their engine somewhere. Not sure who. I'm not sure who blew their
Anybody
engine on
dropping?
track. We've had plenty of drivers quit.
There's your marbles winner.
Yeah, Casey Hatch not gonna finish second to last, so I guess better than
The marbles are
Worst.
back on track now.
yeah.
Picking the bottom last row guys.
Yeah, Marble's back to picking the worst lucked person. That's for Thursday night's podcast. What an amazing
Thanks,
battle
Mark.
for lead that we've had for this entire first stint of the race. Again, most of these drivers were believing around lap 60, somewhere around 60, that we would have green flag pit stops, but no one believed that they would be taking tire, just maybe fuel here. Do apologize you having to listen to the squeaky voice of myself. Most everyone seems to be off for tonight and having to deal with personal issues.
I see. I
gonna
don't see
try to
Chris Wright
work my way
thing
through it.
on the list. Chris must not be on track, and he's made a comment there in the YouTube chat. So, Chris, you're always welcome to come join us if you'd like.
Absolutely. Oh, William White almost off in the dirt. That was scary. Yeah, there's a good battle here between Chad Frankenfield, Nick Indelicato, and William White getting around Mark Rebellis there. All doing a really good job being able to make it through there, battling hard. This is a battle for the 7th position between all of them.
Hold on to it, Gavel.
Trying.
I know who Lee's going to be rooting for. That's going to be the Union flag bearer there, William White. He's got a ways to go, though, if he wants to battle for this win to take over the win for his home country. This is the closest battle for position other than our leaders.
Go left here.
I believe our leaders are going to be coming up on a group of 4 that they're going to be having to lap here in the next lap or 2. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well as they get closer to that battle.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Let's battle here again with Ryan Gable and Seth Walls.
Yeah, Ryan Gable still trying to find a way around that number 25 car. The bumper's not working. They have caught up to the back of the 5 there of Jonathan Cutlip. So they're still working their way around. But as we stated, there's not really a lot of passing lanes. Really only turn 2 is about the only passing lane I know of on this track. And you'd have to dive it in pretty deep to be able to make it work. There's not a lot of setup here. Other than that very useful bumper. Oh, the 25 got a little loose there. Might be what he needed. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with our leaders here. If they have, I believe, started catching up to the back of the field. And they've caught to the back of each other. Oh, car around in the back. I think that's the 8. He's already multiple laps down. Not having a good night. But David Tucker right on that back bumper. On the inside, David Tucker's going to be able to get the lead here. Gets around Ethan Stanley, our first takeover of the lead. He got around turn number 5 right at the start-finish line. What a move by David Tucker to be able to make that happen. I think he got underneath.
Trying to hang on here.
Got him a little wide. Ethan Stanley.
I wish I was trying to hang on lap 2.
Able to make it work. Wow. Gave a little bump for good measure. Said, excuse me, I'm coming through. Ethan Stanley's going to have to see if he can find a way back around that number 19. All it took was one bobble for the 19 for Ethan Stanley to make it happen. Now it's right to the back bumper.
You're free to make contact this time if he needs to. He's got one coming.
I don't know if I would call that
Tucker, I'm sorry to take you out. I found out Ethan picked you for the podcast.
Contact. That's kind of.
Yeah, you can lean on the rule if you want to.
You can lean on somebody. You could ask Chad Freefield. I don't think you have to have an excuse. Oh, Tucker took it a little wide. That's what Ethan Stanley needed. Not going to make it work though, but one mess up is going to be all Ethan Stanley needs to be able to get back in front. Here they come up on a lot of lap cars. That might be what it's needed.
Oh, sorry, I think I was going to let you
Amazing
by.
battle
My
for the
bad.
lead here.
I should have called it out.
Lap 36, and we're
getting ready to let Chase by.
2 leaders duke it out at the front
There's
of the
so
field
much
here.
shit going on.
Their times have dropped off quite dramatically from what they were doing in the beginning. Coming on, Mark Robilas once again. Ooh, boy. Ethan had to make evasive maneuvers. Dives
he's
it
inside.
in. Threw it in. David Tucker back underneath. Going to look for a cutback. Side by side, Ethan Stanley able to get it back. David Tucker's not going to like that move there. That was a dive bomb if I've ever seen. Ethan Stanley dove it in there. Now David Tucker has to try to figure back a way around. If I had to make a guess, he's not going to wait as long as he did before. We may see a dive bomb back on Ethan Stanley, but I would have to say, out of anybody in this league, Ethan Stanley has the deepest breaking points out of anybody.
Let's go to the right here.
That even goes for circle tracks.
Copy,
I joke that he usually keeps his road course brakes on for every racetrack that we go to. Oh, that's not nice, Tyler Fody. Don't send the 19. Ethan Stanley has made it too easy at these road courses. We need to see a challenge here for the lead that keeps it interesting for us. Now these lap cars have nowhere to go in front of them as they try to figure out a way. This has really slowed down the lap times of our leaders. I mean, you see, it's just so hard to make a pass, even on lap cars, that you might be. Oh,
I'm sorry, Justin. Good job holding on to that. I did not expect them to both check it at the same time like that. A little too early.
That was close for Jesse Racimus there. Or not Jesse. Yeah, Jesse Racimus.
My network's starting to freak out.
Right.
Go, Tate. I'm blinking.
I mean, when they get stuck behind a lap car, they're losing seconds on time. So
Thanks.
maybe it is only 5 laps down for some of these guys. Well, while that's going on, it looks like William White was able to get around Nick Indelicato to get himself
Justin,
up
I
into
copied
the
that
8th
transmission.
position.
I show you at
Now it's going to be
66,
trying to go
99
after
quality.
Chad Frankenfield for the 7th. So good driving there from William White, able to get that position and still work his way up through the field from his 12th place starting position. As we're getting closer and closer to the halfway point of this race. If this continues up, Dave, I would have to list this as the cleanest race that the Cup Series has had so far this season. Is that too far out of the realm, you think, Dave?
No, that sounds accurate. Now, is that the kiss of death? That'll be what we see.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. But yes, I would agree with that.
All it took was for Tyler Fode not to be in the race, you know? No, all of a sudden we got clean racing. Ethan Stanley now starting to get out to a decent-sized lead, about the biggest lead we've seen the leader have. David Tucker's going to try to see if he can be able to get that back down once again. Only 17 cars on the lead lap. Oh, William White is playing a dangerous game with that sand. Oh, right in front of Mark Ribella. It's got sideways. Allow
Thank you.
William White
Thank you
to
very
give
much.
a little bit of
Awesome.
a bumper. Now it's going to be right in the worst spot for Chad. He's going to have to try to get around him. And
What an awesome, clean way to pass
Here
somebody.
comes William White trying to see if he can get around Chad Frankenfield. Going to be right on his back bumper. Going to see how they get around turn 5. Right behind them is a battle in the top 10 as well.
Sorry, Johnny, I was not
Scott
trying to see you there. I
Crump
got
able to get around
squirrely.
Nick
Figured fuck it.
Indelicato. Nick Indelicato back around Scott Crump.
No,
So they keep
I was trying to
switching
let you go.
positions.
I appreciate it.
Oh,
Ooh, Chad, too
locked
deep.
it up. Too deep. Gets the bumper onto William
Sorry
White.
for
William White
The whole thing at turn
gets
2 there, Chase.
around Chad Frankenfield. Again, all it took was one mistake.
All good.
And William White able to get back around Chad here. Going to continue his battle up through the front. Got some green flag pit stops taking place. I do think this is more of a strategy move. I do think now Alex McComb sees that they've got to lap 43. He can make it on fuel. Around 60 laps is what it takes to get her on a full fuel load to be able to get around here. So some drivers maybe deciding to make an early pit stop. Maybe they don't like where they're running at on track. Maybe they see that
I don't
they're
know what I did
stuck
wrong.
behind a driver or
Is there like
stuck
a weird
behind a
line
lot
here
of
or
lap
something?
cars and gets them at a different point on the track.
Clear it, then drive to Mark.
See if they can make up some time here. David
That's
Tucker
making me
has
serve
got
it anyway.
back to
I'm stuck
Ethan
sitting here.
Stanley. I've ran out of water, Dave.
Uh-oh.
Only down here from now.
Be careful entering pit road. I'm not sure what I did wrong.
I can always throw it to a commercial long enough for you to get some water if you need to.
Well, that's a good idea. Let's go ahead and give it to commercial break. Get some sponsor
Go left
shout
here.
outs right before we get to the halfway point in this race.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, we'll be right back.
Racing
We're
is
clear.
easy,
Sorry, there. This
I'm
thing.
going to get something to drink.
but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible.
Oh, Chase.
Or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends.
Oh, do you have to like zigzag to the right when you enter pit road or something? I don't know. There's two lanes, so
Visit iRacing.
I just don't want anyone else to get a penalty.
I think it's that there's a solid line and you have to like go in at the dotted line. I think there's a solid line that maybe you crossed. I don't know though. It'd be nice if race control could look at it and clarify. I'm curious before I come in.
Yeah, I had to sit there for 40 seconds. I don't want anyone else to get screwed over.
And the Confluence Music Festival. Racing.
Race control says iRacing's
It all adds
rules.
up to one amazing party. Go to
No, I know, but I'm curious what iRacing's rules are. Is it the what did he do? Did he cross the solid line?
And we're back here at the track. Ethan Stanley still trying to hold it off on David Tooker. Before we get to the halfway point, we're going to give it over to Dave to do some sponsor shout
It
outs.
doesn't have any penalty information listed.
All right,
unfortunately.
tonight is the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. Belly Up Sports is the internet sports bar commentary.
I think they're just asking to see if you can look at what Ethan did and say, this is what he did, this is why there's a penalty.
Your usual sports site. Check them out on X.
Mark, watch my
or
pit entry and
bellyupsports.com.
see what I did that
Our race sponsor
warranted the
tonight is
penalty.
Pit
I
Pass
just
NASCAR.
want everyone to
Pit Pass
know so
NASCAR
no
is the
one
newest
that makes that
podcast from
mistake too.
Evergreen Podcast Network.
I'm not questioning
Bringing
the
you
call or
everything
anything. I'm just
NASCAR.
trying to figure out what
Interviews
happened.
to analysis. Tune in now. Well, not now. Wait till after this race.
Yes, thank you.
Premier sponsors: Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg
Race
is
control
marketing
kind of
partner
woke.
for small businesses. Small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. Constraints catalyze creativity. We help businesses punch above their weight class. And finally, Worldwide Technology Raceway. Worldwide Technology Raceway is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri. It features a
Sorry, Chase.
1.25-mile track that hosts the NASCAR Cup Series, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and the NTT IndyCar Series. It has a 2-mile infield road course used by Trans Am, SCCA, and Porsche Club of America,
I'm looking
a
at it.
quarter-mile NHRA drag strip that hosts the Midwest Nationals event,
Copy.
and the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. Those are our sponsors for tonight, Gerald.
I appreciate you, Dave, for all that you do. A lot of interesting things taking place. A lot of people are picking up, going down and getting their fuel now. And it's really set
The only
things
thing
up
that I
here
can
as
think
David
of
Tucker
is
actually got around
more
Ethan Stanley. We did
all
not
wheels
catch
on the
that.
pit lane.
I'm
Before
trying to
that-
see how
before
far
that
back it
strike
was
back
that that
across the
happened.
green part. Everything else looked good, Ethan.
Well, needless to
Um,
say, David Tucker back out in front
I
here
don't know.
in front of Ethan Stanley. So these two continue
Maybe it's
to
since
dog
I
fight
touched the
here in
green
England
paint a little bit.
as
Yeah, like an unsafe entry, maybe.
now Ethan Stanley's going to have to see if he can get back around as they continue to come up on more
Copy.
lap cars. I would have to believe
The
this
only other
next
thing that
car
it could be would be
is probably
straight
going to
line
give
with
David
little
Tucker a little
chicane
bit of
there, but
leniency. That's going
I
to be
don't
his
see where
teammate
we have to
Matthew
use
Weeks,
that.
our points leader, right in front of him. So
No, it's got to be that
It's probably
green
gonna make
paint.
it a little
That means he
easier
went
on
in
David
after the
Tucker,
solid line
and
and
probably not as easy
touched it with his
for
wheels, I
Ethan
assume.
Stanley.
Yeah, he had,
Ty
he had both
McIntosh.
lefts on that green. On that
Oh,
green
no.
paint there.
Oh, this is what I was trying to look at. Bodie was giving us a hard
Should be
time
a
for missing
suspension
past
for
the
doing that.
lead
What are you
while we were
doing,
in
Ethan?
commercials.
Oh,
I
Ethan
don't know.
Stanley locked it up, and that's what caused it. He did what Chad Frankenfield did earlier.
I'm just glad we'll have a minimum
Allowed
speed in
David
this league.
Tucker to get back around Ethan Stanley there.
Thanks.
Tyler Fody, if
You
this was
better
more
betcha.
like Fox, we would be going to commercial break every 5 laps. So which do you want?
And see, we even have the side-by-side thing that we could have used, but
Yeah, well, our sponsors pay good bucks, so we want your attention on them for sure. Oh boy, that's another thing you're gonna have to look out for if you're driving around this racetrack. That pit road exit is in the worst spot you could put it on the racetrack. That's coming right into the
Thanks.
racing groove in turn number 1, and it gives you no time for either the driver coming off the pit road or the driver coming down the front straightaway passing the drivers coming off the pit road to react, because there's a pit wall blocking all view until literally the last moment you're making the turn. So
Sorry, Al.
it's a bad spot, needless to say, for it. Is lap 50, the stage point did go to David Tucker, able to get that stage point locked up. Only the top driver leading the race gets that stage point. That's 1 point to go towards his championships hopes. Ethan Stanley still trying to dive it in, turn number 2 there. Get to the back bumper of David Tooker. Oh, the 35 around right behind him, I believe. Did catch it, I do believe as well. More cars going to be going a lap down here. We're not going to have a real sense of who's on the lead lap and who's not until all the pit cycles are done. As a lot of drivers have taken their fuel.
He's got side by side.
Side by side for the lead. They use the lap car as a pick almost. As Ethan Stanley to the inside. Oh, they're bumping. That's going to put David Tooker out wide, coming out of pit road. Oh, man. Lap traffic really hampering David Tooker here.
Sorry about that, guys.
Bad spot for some of those guys. Now David Tooker has to try to get back around Ethan Stanley.
Yeah, sorry, Tooker.
I think that is the 4th time we've had a pass for the lead just between these two drivers. And it's usually when one of them catches a bad break or makes a little mistake.
Thanks,
Now, the
babe.
question is David Tooker going to come down pit road
Tooker, inside.
at a different time than Ethan Stanley, or is he going to want to pit the same time Ethan Stanley does so they continue their battle? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, we don't really have any data on like undercut or overcut as to whether or not the tires make a huge
I mean, if they're not taking tires, it's not going to be a benefit one way
it's
or
not going to
another.
benefit one way or the other. It's just whoever has the
just
best
gonna
in or
be-
out lap.
Well, it's going to be who catches traffic. Are you going to catch less traffic pit now, or are you going to catch less traffic staying out and coming out at a better time? So the question is David Tooker going to try to pit at a different time and hope they catches lap traffic at a different, more opportune time? Because
I
they're
guess if
very
you
equal.
think pass on the track, then you do whatever Stanley does. If you think
That's
you need
true.
a break to get past him, then you do opposite.
If I'm David Tooker, I'm probably going to pit the same time Ethan Stanley is, as Michael Hossack is once again going out there collecting moon samples. See what happened to Michael Hossack here. I don't think it was at this point. He's had a few offs. He's definitely had a few offs tonight because that wasn't even the one that we saw.
How about this one? Now we're coming up to some sand.
Yeah, I think at this point, Michael Hossack would have had an easier time of things if he would have put all-terrain tires on it.
Just stay in the sand. Stay in the sand.
If he had some grooves, it would have been a little bit better. Oh, Ethan Stanley definitely had a better time getting around that lap car there of Ethan Burrell. That put David Tooker a little bit farther back now, about 0.6 of a second back. That leaves only 9 drivers as of right now on the lead lap.
Like they're about 4 seconds back from the next car.
Yeah. Again, a lot of these drivers have pitted or off cycle a little bit from where they will be running once all the fuel times are calculated and pit road laps are done. Because McCollum was running in 3rd. And he's running 7th right now.
Yeah, and
So
Tate's
the
already come in.
Surprising.
And he's in 6th.
So William White pitted as well, and he's running in 10th position. Now, I do believe there's points for leading the most laps, and that might be also what these guys are battling for as well, is staying out and leading these laps, getting these points wrapped up for that as well. So it is beneficial for them to stay out on track and lead these laps like Ethan Stanley's doing. Man, all of a sudden, David Tooker's been losing time to Ethan Stanley. You'd almost wish he'd just come down pit road so he can reset his braking points, maybe. Chad Frankenfield now running in the third position as our next driver, Chase Cabry, has gone down pit road. Amazing stuff here at Brandon Hatch here. As it's been an amazing battle for the lead, and not for a lack of interesting on-track incidences, as there's paths being made everywhere.
Who's Brandon Hatch? Is that Casey's son or?
Oh yeah, well I don't know. You're lucky I have a voice right now. I've gone through chocolate milk.
See, when I talk, you don't have to, so then that gives you a break. So I was just trying to give something.
Yeah, okay. You can talk as much as you want, Dave. I never. I
know you always tell me that, but you never take a breath.
Go left here, boys.
This reminds me back when we were doing the truck season last seasons. Yeah, I just talked the entire time. Wow, wow, that was close. That was very close for David Tooker. He did not want to give up the advantage there, and kind of forced it almost 3 wide there, getting around those lap cars. He wants to stay right tucked up behind that 92. He wants this to be a battle all the way to the end. He was almost 0.7 of a second back. He's now only 3. So that aggressiveness did pay advantage to David Tooker there. It's been a while since David Tooker has won a road course in the Elite Series, and he's trying to do that now.
Go left.
A little bit
kind of locked it up there.
Brake rotor glow that time.
Yeah, lost all that track time he gained on Ethan Stanley. Ooh, Ethan got loose. So these guys are pushing it. Right now, only 8 drivers on the lead lap. Our fourth place driver right now, Nick Indelicato, barely makes it onto pit road here. Oh, our leaders are coming down pit road as well. So now's the time for the leaders to come down pit road. It's going to be interesting who's going to have a better pit stop here. Ethan Stanley's going to be in pit stall number 1, and David Tooker pit stall number 2. Just so happens that they have to share it with someone. Oh, Ethan Stanley messed up his pit stop. Overshot it. He's going to lose a couple seconds to David Tooker. Yeah, he's going to absolutely lose a couple seconds to David Tooker. So another pass for the lead happens on pit road. This is absolutely going to be the largest gap from first to second that we've had the entire night. 2 seconds to Ethan Stanley. And Tyler Fody has gone quiet. No more hooting and shouting for him.
Don't forget, he might be watching it on delay, so he may not know yet.
What an impressive showing by all of these drivers. As it's been no quiet announcement that the season's been one of the rough ones with the amount of contact that we've had in the series, and it's it was definitely on the minds of most of these drivers coming in tonight that might occur again at a difficult track like this, but ultimately not the case at all.
Sorry, I just trying to let you go.
Have really been able to keep relatively clean and being very mindful. It almost makes me wonder who these guys are, if this is even the race lobby we're supposed to be announcing, Dave, as these are completely different than what we saw at the short tracks just not too long ago, where everyone was running over each other. Let's go over to William White as he's trying to work through some traffic here. He's got Ryan Gavel, who's with much faster pace, went all the way back to 30th now finds himself trying to get back into the top 10 right behind William White. A few drivers still having to make pit stops. I think Chad Frankfield's down right now, so these drivers here should be working their way around him. Comes out of pit road right beside him. Oh no, Chad. Oh boy. Came off a pit road and gave no room immediately. To the side of the 10 there. Oh, bumping and a banging is occurring. 4-car battle here. Chad Frankenfield just came off a pit road right in front of Nick Indelicato. Nick Indelicato trying to see if he can be able to work to the inside. Dives it in. Side by side going into turn number 5. Chad!
Oh, he spun him.
Thank you.
Saves it.
A good old Chad drive through the guy in front of him.
That's gonna
The usual.
That's gonna cost
There's really no respect out here,
3
huh?
spots for Nick Indelicato.
You probably want to watch the replay before you open your mouth.
You're just figuring that out?
Oh, Ryan Gavel. Oh, into William White. 3-car around.
There hasn't been respect in this league in fucking a year.
William White got spun around there.
Wait. There's
William
respect in
White
this league on point?
through the grass and right into the side of that.
I guess so. I don't know, Chad. You adored the shit out of me going to the hairpin, so
Oh boy.
it's just nice we can race
Right
clean.
back
It's really
out
beautiful.
and hit him. Nick
Watch the
Indelicato
replay.
to the side of Ryan Gavel there.
I blame Bidenomics.
We got a few things to go back and take a look on there. Go back onto this part here. This is a good one to see. Nick Indelicato.
I was alongside you the entire time. You never
he
cleared me, and I
does.
wasn't backing out. So.
Got some
Okay,
down.
well, we could talk after the race. Watch the replay.
I really can't blame that one on Chad.
Trust me, Chad. I know you never back out.
Nick Indelicato kind of was
Yeah,
hoping
then I don't know why
Chad
you
would back
decided to
off
try to
a
cut
bit,
across my
but
nose knowing I wasn't going to back out.
That is not the driver to expect that from.
I don't know. I think you'd have a little bit of race etiquette here and there, but I overestimated
That's
you.
a tough spot to go too wide.
Yep, don't try to clear yourself on me. I'm not going to back out. We'll talk after the race.
And Chad announces on the radio as such. He
I
is
don't want to talk. You're good. Don't worry about
never
it.
going to back out of a spot. He's never going to give
Yeah,
anyone the position. And unfortunately,
No quarter.
No quarter.
Go get him, Nick.
It's a Led Zeppelin song. They're from England.
Thanks.
William White has a lot of positions. Unfortunate for the home field advantage driver there. Is racing at 1 o'clock, I believe, or almost 2 o'clock. It's a late night for him. He's fallen all the way back down to, where is he?
All the way down to 14th now.
Oh, that's rough. Battling inside the top 10 to be back there in 14th. All these drivers in front of him better watch out. The British are coming. The British are coming. By land and sea, it's the British to coming. That's William White. He's going to work his way through that field as quickly as possible. Only 10 drivers on the lead lap right now. Did you like that? I don't know. I made that on the spot, Dave.
Yeah, it's all right. It wasn't too offensive, I guess.
Okay. Well, what do you mean offensive? What do you mean offensive?
I don't know. I'm not sure the British people like us pointing out the fact that we
That we won Revolutionary War?
Yeah.
Well,
we're insurrectionists to them, right?
it's kind of in every Star Spangled Banner. Every time we do Pledge of Allegiance, it's kind of an homage to that.
Oh, Ethan's way loose. Gonna lose a little more time.
Oh boy, yeah, trying to get around lap traffic and let's go on board with not on board, but let's take a look at David Tooker because he is not in a good spot either. He has come up on a group of drivers that are battling it out. He sees that he's got that lead up to 4 seconds, but oh boy, they're too wide up there getting loose. David Tooker is going to have a hold on moment here as he's trying to get through this. He's put on a pretty good gap to Ethan Stanley. Now he has to try to get around the 91 there. Put Johnny Thomas a lap down again.
Sorry, right. That's my fault. Am I right?
Oh, car off.
I knew what you meant.
Ryan Schold, he's running in the 10th
Thank you,
spot.
man.
Goes out wide into the sand. David Tooker is going to be able to get a little bit of breathing room. Lapping now into the top 10. That's when this is going to get a little bit difficult for these drivers. He's got about 4 drivers all in the top 10 in front of him, all within 5 seconds that he's going to have to
On straight, Kate.
be able to try to work around.
Aye, aye.
I'm quite
Shout out
surprised
Clockwork
St. Lyle
there.
has not pitted yet.
I appreciate the extra room there, Jordan. I
Being in the
overtook the
third
shot out of that.
position, he is going to have to pit here before it's all too.
Oh, it's okay. I knew.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks for the communication, too.
Have that lead. Now it's going to go to the advantage of David Tooker because now Ethan Stanley has all those lap cars to have to try to work around. He gets caught up behind the 4 and the slow part of the turn number 5. That's not going to help him.
Oh,
What are you doing?
Corey Abbott came back down in front of the 25, almost took out second place driver Ethan Stanley. I think he got into the dirt. Got into the dirt, spun it around, and bam!
Seth Rawls.
Seth
hit him
Rawls hits him hard. That's 10th place running Seth Rawls too.
Come here,
Corey
Jordan.
Abbott might have called it quits at that.
Take a left take. Thanks. I feel like I catch you in the same spot every time. I feel like you catch me every 2 laps. I'm probably still in the same corner.
Ethan Stanley still finds himself 4 seconds back. Only 9 cars on the lead lap. Ryan Gavel, the next car.
You might
to go
get me
a
and
lap
John,
down.
Zeus.
Let's take a look at Ryan Gavel there as he's trying to get around. Trying to catch up to get around his teammate there, Scott Crump, right in front of him. Let's also take a look at Nick Indelicato. Because he is, he voiced his displeasure with Chad Frinkveld. He's going to,
Sorry, Hassan.
if he gets the chance, I think he might be throwing it in on Chad here. If he gets up to him. It's going to be something here in the next 25 laps that we're going to definitely want to make sure we keep our eyes on. More incidences on track? Oh no, Goody again. I think Goody's ready to leave. I think Goody's ready to go back to the States.
I'm scared from do good.
I think this is
right in front of
boy.
Hossack.
And Michael Goodman 9 laps down. I think the last guy running on the racetrack right now. 9 laps down. I think he's ready to be done. I think he might be calling it done. Ryan Gavel here is trying to see if he can catch up to his teammate, but he's going to have to keep his eyes on right behind him because in shot is David Tooker. But David Tooker needs to start picking up the pace here a little. Ethan Stanley has already cut off another half a second off that lead. And it's not due to the fact David Tooker's had to deal with lap traffic. He really hasn't had anyone right in front of him. Ethan Stanley was over half a second faster that lap. We're going to see at the line
I'll give it
here
to you in the hairpin, Stanley.
if that changes. It goes back to David Tooker's way. One thing to note, though, that 92 runs for Lake Norman. There's 2 Lake Norman cars right in front of him that David Tooker has to lap here. The next 2 drivers that David Tooker has to get around is going to be Lake Norman. So needless to say, it's not over, folks. 25 laps left. We still may see a battle for the lead here once again. Now that we haven't had it, we've had about 6 or 7 lead changes before between these 2 drivers. And Ethan Stanley, if anything doesn't work out for him tonight, he's going to go back and look at what happened on that pit stop to really mess up his chances here tonight when he overshot his pit boxes and missed out on having a clean pit stop. Dave, do you have any information on Tate Lytle? Has he pitted yet?
Let's see. Yes, he
Has he
has. He
pitted
pitted at lap 45.
He pitted way early then.
Yep.
Oh. So Tate Lytle able to work his way up into third position with strategy right in front of McCollum and Chase Cabry. So that'd be another thing that we have to watch and see if those two road course drivers. Oh, Goody's back out there going for a lovely.
He's just going to drive on the grass now.
You know, to be fair, at that point, I don't think I would get off the grass. I just continue on the grass all the way around. Find whatever shortcut you can. Oh, a little contact. Jonathan Cutlip into the side of Ryan Schold. Sent him up the racetrack. Ryan Schold back underneath. Going to send him wide. Since Cutlip out wide, it's going to cost Cutlip 2 spots on track. So needless to say, Ryan Schold not happy that he got moved, and in return gave no room back to Jonathan Cutlip. Let's go back on with Ryan Gavel because Nicky Delicato.
Very often. That was interesting.
Because this is going to get interesting. Look who we have here, folks. We've got Chad Frankenfield stacking them up behind him, and we got a Nicky Delicato. They may owe one here to Chad Frankenfield in his mind. Now we're keeping our eyes on here, but have to absolutely give a shout out to Jordan Owens, running in the 13th position. That man not having the best of seasons, and to come out tonight on a track no one probably put him, as a top 15 contender, having a pretty flawless race so far for Jordan Owens. So congratulations to him, and give him his just dues. As that's very impressive run that 16 car is having tonight. The lead down now to under 2 seconds. David Tooker still having problems being able to run consistent laps. Oh, 26 around. That was our 16th place driver. Now, when does it become time that you have to make the move? Because this is for 6th position, and the leader is right there in frame. And you have to wonder when Nick Delicato is going to have to press the issue, because Chad is really starting to stack up these drivers behind him. $20 laps left to go in this event. David Tooker coming to get it down to 19 laps left to go. Still has a little less than 2 second, or a little less than 3 second advantage. Here comes Nick Delicato. Gives a bumper. Lets him know he's there. Chad's going to hold him off. He's going to have the preferred line going into this turn. Oh, a bump.
Big bump.
A bang, and they're back in the same spot they were when Nick Delicato got turned. Let's see if it's a repeat. Almost was. Oh, man. Oh,
there's a bump.
Chad back to the bumper of Nick Delicato.
That's some weirdo behavior. Thanks for the 4X.
It feels like it's short track, folks. We're back at one. As it looks like the bumpers are being exchanged here. Chad's going to have the preferred line. Are they going to give each other room? No, they're not. They're still bumping and banging. Chad's got a lot of front end damage now. His bumper's all beat up on the front. Going to have the preferred line again. It's going to push him up wide. Nick Delicato's going to have the switchback. Is he going to give him the bumper again? He is. He's going to bump him one more time. Oh, gets loose. They're side by side in a bad spot. Our leader's right behind him. Oh, no. Banging with 18 laps to go. I'm losing my voice, but I can't stop screaming.
I think if I'm the leader, I might back off a little bit.
Oh, Chad's going to lose the spot there finally. Ryan Gable able to get around. David Tucker's just hoping to get by. And Goody's here to save my throat.
Hey, I figured you might. How's it going? How's the racing action out there?
Are you still in the grass? Or are you driving around the grass now?
Spot. This is bad. This is bad for our leader, David Tucker.
Oh, man.
Field's in a fit right now. He is not happy. He's beating and banging with anybody he can get his hands on. Side by side with Ryan Gable. Tucker's got nowhere to go. This is exactly what Ethan Stanley needed. He's down to 1.5. David Tucker throws it in there.
Oh, they touch! Oh!
Pushes him out wide. David Tucker. Oh, he almost got hooked. Chad almost took the leader. David Tucker's down to 1 second. Scott Crump right behind. Ethan Stanley down to 0.8.
But Stanley's got to get by Crump and Frankenfield battling for position.
Love you.
Chad's not looking to help anybody out right here. Dyson back on Scott Crump. Oh, man.
Oh, they touch right in front of Stanley. Now,
10th lap in a row, it feels like. It looks like Chad Frankenfield's put a bumper to somebody.
Yeah, that front bumper's caved in.
You have to wonder why he wanted to come to this track, and I think we know why.
Gets that contact out of the way.
Ethan Stanley does a masterful job to get around him. Now he's got one person there.
Oh!
Hang on to it.
By his teammate. Amazing racing. 16 laps to go. And the bumping's not done. Chad Frankenfield.
All you're good at, Chad, is using the bumper, huh?
And now Ethan Stanley has a 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, if you're going to block me, I'm going to move you.
15 laps to go. Can he get
I'm
it
getting out the
done?
leader's way.
Man, you sound like the guy from
I wouldn't be talking, crap.
NFL wildcard game a few
Chad's
years
good at
back.
Twitter.
Marcus Mariota caught his own touchdown pass.
Is that a bad thing?
No, it's exciting. It actually makes you sound more excited.
Yeah, that's right. You're giving it all.
Yeah, you're
putting it all
on the line here.
I don't think we're going to have a podcast tomorrow, I'll be honest.
You're announcing just like Frankenfield's running. You're leaving nothing out on the airways.
My cords, folks. I'm giving you all I got. They're racing hard up here, and it's exciting. Everyone's on their feet watching this. If you're at home, stand up. It's not done.
Yeah,
we waited until the end for the bumpers to come out.
Man, that battle between Tucker and Stanley, it's, even on track when I seen them go by every 2 laps, it was a pretty intense one. And I didn't realize there was this many battles going on for position around the whole track.
It hasn't stopped. Our leaders have been battling. There's been 7 lead changes between David Tucker and Ethan Stanley. They're very evenly matched.
Sorry, I was very confused as to what was happening right there.
Some losing position between each other.
Yeah, I was trying to get out of your way. I wasn't really conventional because me already being off track, but my bad.
And all Ethan Stanley needs to do is to get to that back bumper of David Tucker to have a shot. As they still have more lap cars to have to get around. They still have one more Lake Norman car for David Tucker to have to try to work around. You have to believe Ryan Gable's not going to give that position up easily.
And he's not going to want to give it up either. He's got Indelicato right ahead of him, battling for position there as well. So you don't want to pull over and let Tucker by.
Too.
Yeah, it's for a top 10 spot. And Tucker's just got to be smart here, be patient. But yet, you still got Stanley on the, right behind you, 1.6 seconds back, slowly creeping in.
He's lost more time. He is stuck right behind Ryan Gable. He's just lost another 3/10 of a second there. There's not a lot of passing opportunities here.
Yeah, there is. Man, talking about, I'm trying to let people by when I was getting laughed about 900
we
times
saw.
out there. Oh,
at the end there, you're just running the grass, I think.
Oh yeah, I figured it needed a mow job. And
did the pit crew put the all-terrain tires on for you?
All-terrain tires, and on the instead of the I can't remember what they call it. They have that cover on the bottom of the car now. They put a lawnmower blade. I can't remember what that's called.
I'm so glad you showed up here, Goody, because I'm absolutely going to lose it here before it's all done. And I probably will need you to do the interviews.
All right. Well, you might lose your voice if that. Well, now Tooker's kind of pulling away just a little bit on Stanley. I guess kind of plateaued, but if that 92 catches that 19, your voice might be done.
Gavel got loose.
Gavel got loose.
Open the door. Oh,
that's all David Tooker needed. He's going to be able to throw it in there. He's not going to hesitate. He's going to want to get that spot as fast as he can.
So, and
Take an hairpin here, weak.
Tooker lost about 2/10 for making that pass, even though Gavel kind of gave it up pretty willingly. You wonder how much he's going to give to Stanley, his teammate there.
I would have to guess he's going to give plenty wide for him. David Tooker is running a heck of a race right now.
He is.
Because he just got around Nick Indelicato pretty quickly. Nick Indelicato very graciously allowed him to get by without much fight.
But now what does Gavel do now? Because now he's right on the back bumper looking on the inside of Indelicato, so that might not bode well for Stanley either, even though they're teammates. He's going to try to want to get that 6th spot.
Where David Tooker's advantage has been all night long has been his aggression with lap cars. He gave a bump to Chad Frankenfield to get around him, not trying to get held up. And that's really been where David Tooker's strong suit has been.
And there really is only one passing opportunity, like legit passing zone in this track, and that's going into turn 2.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's so hard to pass here, and heck, it's so hard to get out of the way, even if you want to. I think Tooker lost the lead at least once because of my doing, but now that we say that, 9 laps to go, it's about a 2-second lead advantage for David Tooker.
Indelicato went wide.
Giving that spot back. Oh man, that was my pick. And speaking of the speaking of the podcast here, you know who Ethan's pick was?
I know, David Tooker.
Yep, David Tooker. I told
mine was Ethan Stanley.
Oh, so this is mano y mano here, and even trying to battle
last guy in points and first guy in points in the pick'em leagues.
Would you have it any other way?
Yeah. Ooh, Gavel. Wide. Oh boy.
He's saying, hey Stanley, go get him, let it eat, see if he can do anything, one last ditch effort. But I don't know if it's too late for Ethan Stanley to catch the 19 of Tooker. Although, man,
there's not a lot of lap cars in front of David Tooker. Oh, Ethan Burrell.
Oh, Burrell.
Ethan Burrell off the racetrack. I'm not sure what happened to Ethan.
Yeah, just kind of.
He was running in 17th position. He had the do-good curse. Do-good has not had a good race here tonight.
No, it's not been good. Oh, I wonder if he bottomed out.
Turns out
he said he was
there's not a line down there, Gavel.
Oh, it got totally sideways. Yeah, from the pit road penalty to now spinning out, a rough night for Ethan Burrell, who looked like he had a pretty solid top 10 run going.
Looked like he was looking for a picnic table out there.
He was wondering where me and Dewar were at. We're drinking beer out in the...
He's like, where's the rest of Do-Good at?
Oh, man. Jeff Green sitting in his lawn chair drinking iced tea right now.
David Tooker locked it up a little bit. Oh, and Ethan Stanley really ate on that time.
Can Stanley pull what Christopher Bell did on Sunday, trying to close that gap? There you see the time difference, 0.3 of a second.
You've got to remember, Ethan Stanley, the last few road courses has been denied his win. Last time we were at a road course, Ryan Gable took it over him.
I feel like that happens a lot to Stanley.
Yeah, Ethan Stanley has not been very good at closing out these races. And he's wanting to be able to prove that he took a lot of time there going to turn 1. Cost a lot on him.
He went out into the dirt. All on the line, though. Got to give him that. Love it.
Well, even if they spin out or make a mistake, it's 13 seconds to hit lighter.
Man, oh man, only 5 cars on the lead lap, but I don't think that's indicative to how crazy this race has been. The battles throughout the racetrack have...
no, based off the times, crazy. I predicted there was only going to be 5 guys on the lead lap.
Yeah,
I'm quite surprised third place is only
Yeah,
14
I wasn't going to
seconds
try
back,
to save that in front of you
to be
guys.
quite honest.
you told me, I'd be 5 laps down after 100. Hell, I was looking at, I was like, hey, I'm 5 laps down after 34.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well,
Oh,
that's if you
man.
stayed on track, I said.
Yeah, that's true too. There's that.
Under 5 laps to go. David Tooker has it right now over Ethan Stanley, but that is not a very big gap. That's one mistake, one lockup, and that will cause Ethan Stanley to be on the back bumper of him. He cannot be able to lose concentration now. For the last hour and a half they've been driving. Last hour and a half, Ethan Stanley and David Tooker have been battling it out for this lead through lapping, if I had to guess, somewhere around 125 cars in this race.
Yeah.
125 cars they've had to be able to pass at this point.
And that might even be on the low end there too. But right now, pretty clear sailing for Tooker. I can't quite make out who's ahead of him. But hopefully for Tooker, he doesn't catch.
Chad Frankenfield and Scott Crump bumping and banging still.
Oh boy, those two boys have history that's well documented.
Scott was not happy with him. He gave him a bump going into turn 2. We'll see if the bumping's done here.
See if Chad can pull away. If Crump can catch him, I'm sure there's not going to be any love lost there. There isn't on a good day. Oh, actually, Crump trying to.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened earlier. Battle for the 4th position happening on track. That's going to be Chase Cabry and McCollum battling
for the 4th spot, and as we say, Tooker's lead's shrunk down to about a second, and
I think he's just trying to be careful.
Yep, I was just going to say earlier, too, I wonder if he's just kind of taking it easy. But as you said, you don't want to do too much because if you do a little slip-up, Stanley's going to be right there on the back bumper.
Yeah, these two are teammates here, so you'd have to predict that they're going to be somewhat clean with each other here. Back out front here with 2 to go. David Tooker, back tires or back brakes are all heated up. Less than a second back, it's going to be Ethan Stanley. David Tooker's got a couple more lap cars to be able to get around here before it's all said and done. Can that 19 car be able to be back on top for these road courses?
Man, it feels like it's been a long time since we've seen Tooker take a checkered
Hey,
flag.
especially, if you let the leaders go, they're battling. I will not pass you.
He's won. I could be mistaken on that, but he used to be pretty dominant. But
sorry, Seth, I didn't realize you guys were positioned. I'll let y'all have her there.
Stanley to drive it in deep and close that gap and maybe get on the bumper. One more lap to go. He's got to do it now.
You're a good man.
Able to get around Chad Frankenfield, but here is David Tooker.
At the conclusion of the race, there will be a demo derby in the turn 1 wall.
Able to still have a second lead.
I was already on thin ice. I don't want to break
We
it.
came to a road course that looks like a short track.
Do not do that after the race.
Track, bumps like a short track.
Good.
A road course.
I didn't realize you were battling.
The classic driver, either David Tooker, the road course expert, David Tooker, the original road course expert, David Tooker, is going to be back on top here.
Nobody's got a 0
in the Elite Series at the road course. That's going to be win number 1 here of the season for David Tooker for Pro Edge.
Good fucking race, Stanley.
Man.
Sorry, Mr. Box there. That was going to be fun for the end, but that still was a really fun race with you.
Pat themselves on the back. That was a great drive for both the 19 and the 92. That was fun to watch, even up here in the booth out on the track.
Oh shit! So I won't aim for them.
They lapped me. That was
I think you would have had more fun if
fair play, Chad. Fair play. Good race. Fair play.
You're not lying.
The move.
You're not lying.
Chestnut checkered.
There you see the congratulatory bumps by Indelcato and Gable.
Thank you, Kate. Yeah, I was hoping you were staying on my own man.
There he goes.
Well, I saw it a little too late. When I stuck the nose in there and you fought me, I looked up and saw. I'm so sorry.
125 here, race number 8.
Why were you stopping the track?
What a race we saw with these. Not only with the amount of passes for the lead, but
Let's stop.
for the most
Give me a
part,
Hoya
clean
after
driving
butt
from a
cheeks
lot
hurt.
of the drivers.
3.
And we got a classic victory.
Oh, fucking yeah.
A classic race on our hand. And that was with David Tooker able to get it done.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you know,
it.
As you say that, you look at the final results.
Good
and
win,
You
good
see
win.
only 5 cars on the lead lap, and I know me and you, Gerald, were talking during practice that we thought
Nick,
this
I'll
race
send you the
was gonna be
replays. I'm
way
looking
more
through 'em right
chaotic
now.
than it was, and you know. Me
I don't wanna
personally,
read through the replays, so
driving
could care less.
points. I from driving stance, I
You
don't.
cared enough to
I don't
bitch about
like
it.
but
I'm looking right at the
it seemed
replay
like it
now.
was a very
You never had me
entertaining,
cleared.
show
You
to
just
put
kept
on
trying to
here
clear
every
yourself on me.
time.
But that's fine. If you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to talk about it. But
We're going to go through the field here, and then I'm going to give it to
No,
you.
you're good. I mean,
if you
I
can,
passed you back, so got what I had coming, I guess.
I
David
get
We don't
it.
have
Tooker
anybody yet,
able-
so
Yeah.
Yeah, not yet. But David Tooker able to get the win over Ethan Stanley by 1 point.